There was once a humble man named Eli who lived in a quiet village nestled between the hills and the river. He was known not for his riches, but for his kindness, his smile, and the way he prayed as though God were standing right beside him. Eli was a carpenter, working with his hands day by day, making just enough to keep food on his table and a roof over his little home. But there were days when the work stopped coming, when the wood was scarce, and the coins in his jar grew fewer. He would sit in the corner of his house some evenings, holding the last piece of bread, whispering to God, "You said you are my shepherd. Please remind my heart that I shall not want." And even in the silence, Eli kept trusting. He believed that God was not finished with his story. One day a great storm came. It tore through the village, knocking down trees, damaging homes, and washing away the tools Eli had spent years collecting. That night he wept, not just from loss, but from the weariness of waiting. He asked the question so many ask in their hardest moments: "Lord, will it always be this hard? Will you really show up for me?" But in that moment of doubt, a quiet word stirred in his spirit: "Those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy." And Eli, through his tears, believed it. Days later, a stranger came to the village. He had heard of Eli's skill as a carpenter. He offered him work, not just to repair homes in the village, but to travel with him to nearby towns to build anew. The stranger had wealth, but more importantly, he had a heart stirred by God to lift someone who had remained faithful. Eli's life began to change, not in a sudden flood of gold, but in the gentle unfolding of opportunity, peace, and provision. He started sending money to others in the village who were still struggling. He built a new home, not just for himself, but one where travelers could come and rest. His jar was no longer empty. But more than the full jar, Eli's heart overflowed. He often told others, especially the young ones who had begun to doubt their future, "There were days I had nothing but faith, and that was enough. God never promised the road would be easy, but He promised I wouldn't walk it alone. And one day, He made me smile." So, to anyone listening now, whether your pockets are empty or your heart feels tired, remember this: God sees. He hears the quiet prayers. He watches the faith in your struggle. The smile may not come today or even tomorrow, but one day when you least expect it, you'll look back and realize He was building something all along, and it will be beautiful. Hold on. Your smile is coming,